This is a great question and kind of a hot topic. Pretty much it depends on your baby, of course, and it also depends on who you ask. So I feel like there's a lot of camps of thought on this question. For example, a lot of pediatricians will say, 4 months and 14 pounds, babies do not need to eat, just go ahead and get rid of it. Others will say 6 months. Some camps would say, don't take away night feeds at all for baby's first year, particularly if you're breastfeeding. So it isn't really for me to tell you which of those camps to fall into. It also depends whether we're talking about baby needing to eat overnight for nutritional reasons or for other reasons like comfort, connection, so on and so on. So one of my big philosophies is to kind of meet parents where they are and help them reach whatever their goals are. And not every family that's coming to me is wanting to get rid of night feeds. Many of them actually want to keep some, but just a reasonable, sustainable amount of night feeds, which may be one or two. So I would start with your pediatrician. You may get a pat answer because a lot of them do give a pat answer, but just at least make sure that it is appropriate for your baby's health and age to work toward getting rid of the night feeds. And then I would also just defer to your gut. Some moms can tell that the feeds are really just nibbles, like just taking the edge off to get back to sleep, whereas other babies are doing like full legitimate feeds. Frequency is another way that you can tell. If your baby's waking once a night, they're managing the whole night up to that feed on their own. They're doing a brief, boring, business-like feeding, right back to sleep, and then they're managing the rest of the night on their own. That, to me, represents more of a legitimate hunger sort of feed versus like, I just wanted to nibble to get back to sleep at each of the little transitions that I'm hitting in my sleep cycles. If they're eating, every 2 hours and they're no longer brand new, and that doesn't seem appropriate, then that suggests more of a habit than a nutritional type thing, at least for all of those times. So I'd start with your pediatrician. I'd go with your gut. You ultimately are, the expert on your baby. So if you feel like they're unnecessary, you may be right that they're unnecessary. But also don't feel pressured that you have to drop all night feeds by a certain age or stage. I do think there are times that are a little more optimal to take care of that. As your baby gets older, more aware, more set in their ways, it can be harder than it needs to be to take those things away. But really, we can do it at any age and stage. So I personally don't prefer to fall into either camps, but kind of just defer to each family and what they want to do. So there's no one exact answer. I really feel comfortable, just to give you my personal and professional answer, I don't feel like they need it after 12 months. Most babies honestly don't need it after 8 or 9 months for nutritional reasons. But I've certainly seen, 3-month-old babies that can go all the way through the night and they got there on their own, not even through anyone's intervention. So there's a huge range of normal, as with all things babies and children and parenting. And that's really for you to decide and then for me to help you get there.